I'm Megan Mitchell. This is my co-host, John Morrison, and you are listening to the True North Racing Podcast.
Time to strap in, pull those belts, and get ready for an action-packed episode of the True North Racing Podcast. Are you ready to unmask? Unhelmet your favorite racers? Get ready for the most fun you'll have outside the racetrack to get you ready for the next race. You're listening to John Morrison and Megan Mitchell, and this is the True North Racing Podcast.
Welcome back to a new week of the True North Racing Podcast, brought to you by it's brought to you by Vision 20 Studios. I'm your host, John Morrison. Joining me, or actually not joining me, jeez, I'm already off my game, you guys. As per usual, Megan Mitchell is usually is with us, but unfortunately she's not. She had something happened during lunch, and she hasn't been feeling well since. So Megan, get feel better, and hopefully we'll see you back next week. Jesus, you know what, guys? I completely forget how to start this dang show. This past weekend we're just gonna jump into it. This past weekend I was over at Flamborough Speedway with the Young Drivers Canadian Modifieds. We were out. We hit our midway point of the season last night. It was a pretty good race. Do we have any accidents? I don't think the first one we did. No, first one I don't think we did. Second one maybe. Second we had a couple incidences, but overall pretty good races. I couldn't complain. It was good to see Jessica James and Joey Woolsey both made huge improvements. Jessica finished on the lead lap in the first feature. I was really happy for that team. We seen some really good battles, and it was a really good night. Last night though, I was with Jay Pepin in the number 43 from the CVMs. He was out. It was one day painting night for the Young Drivers Canadian Modifieds. And they put on a pretty good show. He put on a pretty good show. We're going to have a full vlog up for him. Hopefully by the time you guys listen to this, it'll be a couple days. So I'm hoping this week, sometime after you guys hear this, we'll have the vlog up. I didn't get a chance to talk to him too much. Unfortunately, but we did get both features in. I think one camera actually was down. I thought it was operating. It wasn't. I don't know. I haven't gone and checked the footage yet. At the time of this recording, I have not uploaded the footage yet. So, you know what? You guys might be as surprised as I am to see what goes on here. But we have so tonight on the show, we will have the driver number 84 from the Young Drivers Canadian Modifieds, Jeremy Barton, joining us. Jeremy has been racing on and off with the club for the past couple of seasons that I've been working with the club. He has also dipped his toes onto the dirt side. So I'm excited to learn more about that, his deal with Thorn Racing on running a dirt mini stock. And we're gonna have a lot of fun with that. Before we bring him in, I do want to touch base a little bit. If you guys are watching us here on YouTube or can see us on Spotify, because we upload these videos every week to Spotify, so you guys can watch us right from Spotify if you guys choose to. I don't know if you guys like listening to us or watching this, but either way, you guys get entertained. But as you guys can see, we have our new True North Racing Podcast t-shirts. Here you can see the little badge here on the back side. We got a nice big design. We are still taking orders. If you guys would like a Joe Media driver t-shirt, True North Racing Podcast t-shirt, or one of our supporter t-shirts, please reach out to us. I'm going to throw them up here real quick, and then you guys can take a look. Reach out to us. We'll put in an order still, and we'll get you guys rocking some True North Racing Podcast gear, as well as Joe Media stuff. And all like I said, all the money that we get from here goes right back into it and trying to build this into a really great project. And we're just having some fun here. We thank everyone who supports us each and every week, and it's wouldn't do this without y'all, and we appreciate the crap out of you guys. I feel like I would have a lot more, but it's always so weird now just talking to myself essentially, and I wish I kind of was able to reach out to a couple guys and see if they wouldn't mind coming on for the night, but I don't really have too much else to say besides just catching you guys up on some of that stuff. So what do you guys I think it's time. So before we bring in Jeremy Barton, let's have a quick word from presenting sponsor Vision 20 Studios. You're diving into Vision 20 Editing. New company with their services providing video editing to get your video perfect in exactly the way you guys are looking for. They also do audio mastering, where they're going to take your audio and make it crisp and clear. They're bringing your vision to life. That is right. At Vision 20 Editing, we want to make sure that your vision comes to life in the way you want it. Find us on Facebook and Instagram at Vision 20 Studios. Now let's get back to the True North Racing Podcast. Joining us this week on the True North Racing Podcast is the driver, the number 84 Young Driver Canadian Vintage Modified, Jeremy Barton. Jeremy, how are you, man?
Good, yourself?
I'm doing not bad, man. How's your weekend?
It's been eventful. Race last night, and there's some unfortunate events that happened, and I want to apologize for some of the actions I did on track, and I want to better myself and look past all this.
Yeah, so last night we were all at Flamborough. It was meet the drivers night. How did that go for you? You have a lot of people stop by?
Yeah, I had a few people, not many, but I had a few. It was awesome, handing out the stickers and the hero cards. I never really got to do that because I started in 2016 and I didn't really have hero cards then. In 2017, I had them, but like every chance we got to meet the drivers, it was either it rained out or we weren't there. So I was happy to finally get one under my belt.
I'm more upset because I didn't get a chance to stop by. Yeah, every time I walked by you, you were already busy.
Yeah.
So I'm like,
yeah.
Damn it, I wanted to pick up one of your stickers so I could get on the back of the car. So next time I'm out, I'll have to stop by and see if you got any and pick one up from you.
I can definitely save you one. I got
Beauty.
A lot. Thanks to the sponsor. I got a lot.
So going back to, so you kind of touched on a little bit there. We're gonna go back to when you first got started racing here.
So, where do you want me to start? The family, or do you want me to start with myself?
Well, you know what? You are probably one of the best legacy guys to really talk about. So,
yeah. So, how racing kind of really started in my family, it was funny, was my grandfather moved down from Minden when he was 16 years old, and he started renting a house next to my grandmother. They met, and then one night my grandmother was like, well, why don't we go to the car races, like at C&E, where actually BMO Field is. That used to be the C&E. And my grandpa's like, no, why would I want to go watch some guys race these cars in circles? And so they ended up going, and 2 or 3 months later, came home with a car. So I started with that, and then I think my uncle, so I think Brian got his car, and I want to say my dad got his, and then Uncle Steve got his later on. But Dad kind of really he stayed with the hobby cars for like a lot, or I don't know how many years, but at least a couple, and then he kind of went down to run the modifieds with I think it was, I don't know if it was ROC back then or if it was something else, but he went down to run the mods.
Okay.
And then my brother was born, and then I was born, and then he's like, I don't want to race, because he's like, that was back when racers were getting hurt more because safety was just starting to come out. So he hung up the helmet, and then that's when I was like, it was like between me and my brother, and like I loved racing, and I will always love racing to death. And I remember we got my first my first go-kart, or no, I raced at Cameron's for couple couple of years, and then like that was a ride and drive kind of thing, and then we moved on to like go run at WRKC, and from there we just grew. And if you're looking to get into karting or racing, WRKC is one of the best family tracks. Like everyone's there to help. Like everyone's the nicest people there. No one argues, no one fights. It's all about the kids, and that's what's amazing about that club is everyone there is doing it for their kids because the kids love racing and they want to go somewhere.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And
Like
yeah,
I unfortunately I never got to know too much about the WRKC, besides for when like
yeah,
essentially they came into Flamborough, and then that's pretty much all I know of them.
yeah. So when I started, I they didn't just start, like they've been around for years and years. But when I started, there was like it was a lot of competition. Like the Collisons were there every week, just winning. And I remember going home one day, and I was just telling my dad, like, how can I race with like the Collisons and all, and everyone that's running up front? He's like, well, you got to get better. From there, I just was like, all right, let's keep this going. And then it was 2016. It was in December the 28th, I think it was. We bought a mini stock because I was going to go run mini stocks at Farnborough. The car that I was going to run for Wade Thorne this year was actually my car back in 2016. And then we sold it back to, I can't remember who it was, but we sold it back to them. And then Wade got it. He sent me a photo. I'm like, hey, that's my old car. And then I remember that night we were sitting in Florida because my grandparents loved Daytona. They loved going down there. And my grandpa's like, offer the guy this for the car. At the time, I'm like, I'm just so young. And I was like, okay. So I called dad, and I was like, Grandpa wanted me to tell you this. And 10 minutes later, dad called me back or texted me back. I don't even remember now. And he was like, yeah, he said, yeah. And then after he said, yeah, my grandpa's like, go look up the 36 CVM. So I looked it up, and I was like, oh, I'm like, I'm going from a mini stock to an open wheel car. And I was like, I love open wheel cars, but I was like, I didn't think I'd get the chance right then and there.
Yeah.
But it was kind of, I was excited when I first got the car because I was just, I just loved racing so much. I'd go down the shop and I just work on it. And then for 20 minutes, I just sit in the car and just be like, I'm doing this. Like, this is happening. And then I go out first night, and unfortunately, I was new to it, and like I was used to the cart where you hit the brake and like stop, and then you kind of roll it in and go. It's just same as every other car, but I was at a stage where like, okay, I'm gonna hold the brake, and then I kept sliding, and then I was like, okay, why am I not stopping? And I hit the wall, and I was kind of mad at myself, but then I looked back and I was like, okay, this is the first night. I can't get too mad at myself. And then that's when I was like, okay, let's better myself. So each week I just kept getting better and better. Like that was a year where the CVMs kept traveling. Like they'd go to Sawell, Delaware.
Oh yeah.
I don't know what was the other track. They went to 3.
Sunset?
It might have been Sunset. I can't remember the schedule back then. It might have been Sunset or it might have been Peterborough, but I don't think we've been to Peterborough in years.
Since I've
So I
been
think it was
since I've been a part of the club, we haven't traveled. So
okay, yeah. We only ran in Flamborough because we were like, this is close to home. We're
yeah.
just trying to build experience. Because like I don't want to go to Delaware on like my first year and be like, this is like Daytona. Like like I don't know what I do. But
It's a
after
big
that,
track. It scares you.
yeah. Oh yeah. Like I just kept learning, and then finally I think it was 2018, we started to travel, and I went to Delaware. I'm like, this is my favorite track. I love it because you're constantly open wheel and you're on the brake, and then you're halfway through the corner. You're like coming off. You're like, this is kind of wild, but it's never fun when you have fresh set of tires that you haven't worked in, and you go into turn one. You're like, I am 2 feet from the wall. This is not good.
No, that is not a good time at all.
No.
Um, you're covering a lot. We want to rein it back a little bit so we can cover more.
Absolutely.
You're doing a great job. I love this. I love it when I don't have to lead anyone. It makes my job a hell of a lot easier. I want to get back to you. So you said you got the 36 CVM. That was Glenn
That was
Scher.
Rick Scher.
Rick Scher. That's right.
No,
Yeah, Rick.
Rick Scher.
Glenn was his father.
Yes, Glenn was his father, who actually ran in the club.
Yeah.
But he ran around the time of my grandfather, and that's kind of where the 84 came from. Was my grandfather was 84, and then he moved to, I think it was Montreal, for 2 or 3 years with his job, and then he quit, and he started up B&B. So by the time he came back, you'll see all these photos of 85. That was after he moved back.
Okay.
Because I think one of the Shaws took 84. It was one of the Shaws or someone else took 84. But that's why he had to go to 85.
Okay.
And then my Uncle Brian was 5. Dad was 25. And Steve, I think Steve was 05. If I remember correctly, Steve's 05.
I can always go back through some records I have and see what I can find.
I should know this, but we have so many numbers in the family. It's 84 for Grandpa, 25 for Dad, 5 for Steve. I think it was 05 was Steve and 5 was Brian. Then my brother, he ran karts for a little bit, and he was 60 because I don't know why he chose 60. I think he's a big Bubba Wallace fan. Like, he loves Bubba, and he's gotten a lot of people. Like, we went to Charlotte, and he's got a lot of people looking at him, and it's like, you're there to have fun. You're there to race. Like, let's just keep everything out of this. Like, go have fun. And that's the key, is you never want to go to a race angry, and you never want to come out of it with a wrecked race car, because then you're mad at someone, you're mad at yourself. It's just never fun.
Oh yeah. And that's all a part of the game as well. Like I always say we, but I'm not a driver yet. But you guys, not yet. Hey, I got a ride lined up this year, so
we gotta get you to CVM. You do all this work. We gotta get you to
You know what? I would love to so much, because I think it would give my background a hell of a lot more experience.
Yeah.
I've watched you guys religiously for 3 years now.
Yeah.
I know quite a bit, but at the same time, like, I look at some of you guys and it's like, the hell
how do you
just
get
do there? See, that's my biggest fear with these CVMs, is because the window opening isn't all that big. And I feel like one of you guys, I know one of you guys would play a prank and just like set a thing of butter, right? You guys would set butter on top of the car. Don't.
Yeah, so you'd fall in. Yeah, I remember. I think it was my first or second ever race, and I was looking to my left, and I saw Steve Trindle get in his car, and he's crawling in Superman style. I'm like, I would never do that. I could never. I barely get in my car with my big door. I could never do that.
It's definitely one of the most interesting cars to get in and out of, and everyone has to have their own different style to get in. Sorry,
go ahead.
No, go.
Thankfully, my car came with that door. I love it. It's like, it is probably the biggest window to get into, and I still struggle to get in.
It's really cool to see that. Like, you almost needed Jeff Kell's car.
Yeah, pretty much.
Because he had the roof flap, right?
He had the roof flap, yeah. And like, going to the roof, like the roof flat, it's like, it's awesome to get in and out, but if you're ever in like a bad wreck and like
Oh
say
yeah.
say your car's on the side, right? You're now trying to maneuver out this small little hole and like or wait until you flip back over and then you get out your hatch. But God forbid anyone ever has to go on their
Yeah.
side or get wrecked that bad. Like you never want to see that.
Luckily, I think the last big wreck we had was Patrick at the last race of 2020.
I don't think I remember that. Was that
I can't. Was that the August race? I can't remember if that was the August race that we did because that was a shortened season. You ran one race.
yeah, I ran one because of COVID, I believe it was.
Yeah, it was the COVID season. The
Yeah.
last race, I can't remember if that was like practice or a heat that we did in October, but Patrick went into 3, and I think the throttle hung,
Oh,
and he was in the middle of like coming down the track to hit his line, and he just shot straight at the track, hit the wall in the middle of 3 and 4, and like the right front rim, the car, like I there's a picture that Thompson Photography took. Absolutely incredible shot. His entire car was off the ground. The rubber was already off the rim. Like that's probably the hardest hit I've seen for a CVM so far.
that's definitely a nasty hit.
I'll
Like
find that picture. I think I got it on my phone still.
yeah, send that to me because like I've had a nasty hit, but that just sounds like something you never want to do.
And unfortunately, Patrick hasn't been back out since, and I don't know what.
Yeah,
I hopefully he comes back out. I would like to see the 47 back out again. There's a few cars I know the guys still have. So if you guys are listening, get your butts out there.
yeah. Actually no, I do remember that. I was at that race. He his I know he had to get shoulder surgery
Yep.
because I guess the way he hit, I guess he tweaked his shoulders or something. But and then I think he had to put a new front and rear clip in, but
Oh yeah.
you never know once you slam the wall and once you start pulling more pieces off, it's like, oh, this is bent. This is bent. Like how much more can I do?
Exactly. Like it was so tough. I just found the picture.
Oh,
So I'm
did
in
you?
the yeah, so I'm sending it to you right now.
I'll check this out.
Probably
Oh
the most
yeah,
yeah. Oh, that was the September
that,
race.
yeah, that was a bad hit. Like
Oh
that
yeah.
was probably probably one of the hardest hits. Other than I can't remember. I think it was one of the Shaws. They went into the corner at Delaware, and I guess the leader he blew up. So pretty
Oh
much
no.
it went in and it was like a skating rink, and all you see is Jeff hit the wall and come back down. You're like, oh, you watch those videos or you see the photos, and you're like, how do you take these hits? How do you take the beatings?
I mean, luckily now with all the safety equipment that you guys have, like head and neck restraints, the seat belts, the seats themselves,
Oh
it's
yeah,
come a
for
long
sure.
way since, since the 50s and 60s when they were literally still wearing using
Sitting on a
the family seat. Like
yeah. Oh yeah, like
it's
it's definitely come a long way. I know. I remember when I first started in the CVM, my dad and grandpa were like, "You're getting containment seats. You're getting the Hans. You're getting you're wearing the socks, the pants, and the shirt and the balaclava." Because they were like, "If you get in a serious enough wreck, we want you safe. Like if you ever catch fire, we want you safe. Like we don't want to risk it."
oh exactly. Like
And everyone's like, "Oh, you're probably really hot in it." And it's like it really isn't that bad. Like it's not as hot as everyone thinks. Like
it's
I've
once when you're stopped in the hot race car,
that's when it gets
different story. But when you're
that's when
moving, you're
yeah,
fine.
yeah. That's why when you'll see me under caution, you'll see my arm out the
Oh,
window. I'm just trying to get the air in because it does get hot.
I know. I remember. So Jacqueline, that was Jacqueline's first ever race was the September race. with the
Okay.
club. And
Yeah.
she asked me because she's seen under caution, everyone puts their hand out the window. She goes, "What are they doing that for?" And I'm like, they're hot.
Air conditioning. That's a race car air conditioning.
I'm like, that's
That's
race car air conditioning. Then she goes,
yeah.
I think she saw a mini stock with one of the like the 4-inch hoses sticking out the right side. And
Oh yeah.
she goes, "What's that for?" I'm like, that's to cool them down. They put
Yeah.
that near their nether regions there,
Yeah. Oh
or like
yeah.
right on the side or something. But
Something like that. You
there,
also get the ones that put on your helmet too.
yep,
Those are pretty cool.
those are
But now they're coming
expensive.
out. They're expensive, and when you get wrecked, and if they wreck hard enough and they break, you get mad.
Oh yeah,
They're coming out with these cool suits. I went to PRI
oh
3
yep.
or 4 years ago, and this little box you put somewhere in your car, and essentially you just wear the shirt and the pants, and it's like AC, and I'm like, where has this been all my life? I need that.
And now you see almost every weekend the NASCAR guys rocking those suits to keep cool.
Oh yeah, and you're just looking at that like they got like 5 of those, and they're a couple $1,000. They're nothing.
How much are they for a set like that?
Really depends.
I'm
Probably
not
a
asking
set.
for a friend because I know I can't afford it.
I'm assuming like with the shirt, the box and the shirt. I'm assuming probably around 1,000 or so. I'm assuming.
Yeah.
I want one, but like I can't. I'm not paying 1,000
Is is
bucks.
is it worth it for the 50 laps we run a night?
I got my little hand AC. I'm good with that.
If you need to, just hook up a little 2-inch hose and just
There we go.
I don't know
That's the
how,
way we'll
but
do it.
make it make
I,
a make a fitting on the right side so you just hook the hose right up to it, duct tape or zip tie it, and then just run it across.
Starting to sound like Alex. Zip tie everything.
Well, who was it last night? I saw Tegan Ellis walking back
Oh
to her pit from after the first feature, and
yeah,
I saw her with a thing of zip ties, and my first question was, "Did you get those from Alex?"
definitely.
No,
I
she
think
said it
Alex.
wasn't.
Oh no,
No, I was shocked.
Alex needs a zip tie sponsorship. So if anyone's listening that has like a million zip ties, Alex Stewart is your guy. He
I'm
goes through like 10 a night or 2 a night.
I'm almost tempted to reach out to zip tie, like whoever makes zip ties myself, and be like, "Hey, listen,
Yeah,
I got a guy who's keeping you in business right now. Let's talk.
yeah. Please let's sponsor this man.
Just
Oh,
change the entire car to zip tie colors and
that'd be awesome. That
oh
would
man."
be awesome.
Um, so as we get back into this here, because we kind of went off the rails, which is
Yeah,
nothing wrong. That's usually what
yeah.
happens on our show here.
We tend to do that.
Exactly. We do that all the time here. We'll squirrel it and then just go off.
Yeah.
So getting back into this, so running your first CVM race, learning as you go here, and as you guys do as a rookie, what was the biggest transition for you really going from like the arrive go-karts to competitive go-karts to jumping behind the wheel of a CVM? What was the biggest change for you?
The biggest thing was the speed and learning the breaking points, and also getting out of the way for the leaders, because if you're a rookie and you're gonna get in the way, it's like I get it, you're just trying to run your line, but like at the same time, if you hear or see the fast guys coming, just pull down a lane, let them go. And once you feel like you're clear, just go back up and keep running your line. Because there's been times where I've personally gotten in the way and I felt terrible, but then I learned from that to be like, okay, I got to keep moving down, and then finally I just kept going and going, and I got my first top 10. I think it was a sixth or a seventh, and I was so happy. It was like a feature win for me, and then finally on Grandpa's Memorial Night, actually, I got my first win, and that's why I pointed the flag to this guy, because unfortunately he wasn't there to watch, but I know he was up there watching. But I had to do something for him.
Absolutely.
And then my second win, that was like I just of I started pole and I just took off and I was like, okay, maybe we got something. And then I'm just going in the last corner on the last lap and I look behind me and I'm like, oh, they're starting to come. So I'm like, I better go. And I almost looped it and I was like, let's not loop this. So I got out, like I took the checker. I was like, okay, that's another win. And now we're just looking for a third win. I just want one more. That
Well,
would that
you've definitely been competitive this year. You've made my list a few times in regards of our little top 3 little photos we've put up. I know you made my list, I think 2 or 3 times, I think.
I think it's been I think it's no about 3 times now.
Yeah.
The first one was I think it was the first. Was it night one or did we get rained out that one?
The official night one we rained out because that was supposed to be May
Yeah,
6th. Let
yeah,
me go
and then
back here. So I do a terrible job at posting
yeah,
to yeah, there's Easter opening night, feature number 1. You got third, feature number 1.
that's right. And
And
then I think
then
I hit there sixth in the second one because I started in the back.
yeah. And night number 2, you did not make my top 3. I wasn't there for that.
Yeah, that would have been. I think that was the night he got second because I was waiting for your interview and I didn't see you anywhere, and I was like, all right, I guess I'm not getting an interview tonight.
Yeah, I wasn't. I haven't been showing up this year. It's just, it's not because I don't want to be there. I got other stuff I need to get done this year.
Yeah, you're a busy man, and
Ugh,
it's understandable, right?
exactly. And the best thing is that everyone in the club knows that, they respect it. I know they miss a lot of what I do on race day because that's when the like bread and butter really hits, is when
Yeah,
that race day content really comes out. But
yeah. Oh, yeah.
I also want to grow what I got going on.
That's
It,
that's it, right? You gotta look out for yourself first, and then look out for other people after. But always make
exactly.
sure you're okay and you're okay, and that's the key.
And that's why,
But
like, I love working with the club because they're, first of all, y'all treat me like freaking family. Like, from,
that's the way to see.
oh, absolutely. Like, from everyone is, from even, the first year I walked in there as media, just covering the class. I was like, John Carley was, I thank him enough. I can't thank him enough for allowing me to help out. But of course, getting to
Yeah.
know each and every one of you guys a little bit more and more, and it's just like, man, like this is actually pretty cool. Like, these guys are awesome. Like, they've, of course, now I'm banned from having my GoPro in most cars now, but
Well, you're not banned from my car. You can
no,
have it in mine. We still
no,
need to do that. We had a day set up, and it was the day it rained. We were gonna put your GoPro in my car, and then we all showed up, and then it rained, and then Gary made the announcement. Oh, we're gonna have to cancel this.
was that July 8th?
I think so. I think it was July 8th.
Have I
Or
not put?
no, it was opening night. It was opening night. I know it was one time this year that we were gonna do it, and I think it was opening night because I know it rained, so it
Yeah,
was either night or July 8th. I can't remember now.
I swore I put a GoPro in your car for a race.
I can't remember. Did you? You might have. I don't remember
I
now.
I may have. Now you're making me question myself. Now I got to go check the YouTube
No,
to
no, you're
see.
good. You're good. You're good. We
No, man.
can we can always.
Oh, dude, with how easy access I got this, we're good. Um, so with that being said, like, I'm gonna be out 1 or 2 more times this year. So if I can't find a video with you in it, you're getting
We'll
you're
definitely
getting a
do it.
you're getting a GoPro in for feature this year.
Absolutely, I'd love it.
Oh, it's I so sometimes it's funny because, like, um oh crap, who is it? Ricky Williger won't let me have the GoPro in his car.
Oh,
'Cause,
really?
yeah. Mike Pod was on the edge of it last night.
Jeez.
Because so I put my GoPro in the second feature, and with like 2 laps left there, he pulled off, and my GoPro was in the car.
Oh, yeah,
Um,
yeah. And then you
what's
did.
his?
Was it practice day? Was it practice day? He went in and he slammed the wall, and you got that. You got the video of that. I think it was.
No, that was Ricky.
Oh, that was Ricky. Okay.
That was Ricky. Yeah, I'm just looking
Uh,
through here. Looks like I made. No, that's some outer stuff. Hank Franks, that's a second feature. No, looks like I haven't gotten one with you yet. All right, so put that on the board. The next time I'm there, you just drag me over. As soon as I show up, just drag me over and say, put a GoPro in here.
put the GoPro in. Yeah.
put it in now, and then you don't forget.
Don't forget to turn it on either. I've done that a few times.
I
We'd
don't
have it
think
on
I
the front
caught
of
the
the
first.
go-kart.
Sorry,
Oh, geez, really?
I didn't put
You missed the first feature?
Sorry,
You missed the first feature because you forgot to turn it on.
I forgot to turn it on in Jay's car, and it was the more
Oh, geez.
important one because it was
Oh,
facing
God.
the front.
Oh,
So
God.
Jay had 2 in his car last night, one facing him and one out the front for both features. So
Nice.
the first feature, I get back over and I'm looking at it and I push the button to stop it, and I realize it starts
And,
counting down. I'm like,
oh,
oh no.
did you get the second one?
I got the second feature.
Did you send me the video?
I'll send it over.
I want to see
It's
this.
gonna be up this week. It should be up on Joe Media Promotions sometime this week. So
I'm excited.
I so I don't can we talk about that? What happened last night? Sorry?
Yes. Yes, we
Because
can absolutely talk.
okay, so let's set this up here because I didn't catch what happened. I was looking somewhere else on the
So,
track, and walk us through what happened because a
so,
lot of us are unclear of what happened.
so we took the green, and I'm following along, and I'm just got down, and I was clear, and then Jay just kind of came down, so I checked up, and it was about a lap or two before, and I was going to the outside. He kind of braked too soon, so my front wheel hit him, and it broke a tie rod. But I was mad that it was lap 1 or 2. I think it was 2. He cut across my nose, and if he would have spun, I would have hit him, and then it would have been an accordion effect, and a lot of cars would have been junked. And I don't want to see cars getting junked. I was very frustrated. I was very mad, but I respect Jay. He's a great racer. Not get me wrong. He's getting so much better from when he started to now. He's amazing,
Oh yeah.
and I want to apologize to him and his team for that on track. That was not okay. That was not right. That's all on me. I was very angry, and I should have just stayed in the car. But that was all on me, and I apologize on my behalf to all the racers, the club, his team, his sponsors, everyone. That was not good.
Hey, you know what? We all make mistakes as long as we learn from it, and we can all move forward here. Like I said, I didn't see what transpired before because when
Yeah.
from my angle, I was down in 3 and 4.
Mhm.
From all I saw was you get kind of come down to the bottom of them, but you were still 2 car lengths back, and then you just kind of started drifting up. And then that's when you
Yeah.
stopped, and when you got out, we were all kind of like, what like,
Yeah.
and now it makes more sense, and we're just like,
So
because all of us were like, what happened?
so when I hit him, I think that the tie rod and pretty much the bolt just snapped, like it just
Yeah.
sheared off. That's why the wheel was like, I'm gonna go this way, and the other one was straight.
Yeah.
And I turned hard left because I wanted to go left, and then I don't know what happened. Like I slowed down enough, but it just turned like the one that was broken just turned to the right. And I was like, okay, I guess I'm going this way. And I looked to my right and I was like, okay, no one's going. So I snuck my way to the top and I was like, okay, I'm gonna stop here, and that's it. I'm not gonna. I'm just gonna park it, tow it back, and that's it.
Okay. See, now that puts all the rest of the
A pick,
pieces back together,
yeah, yeah,
because I talked because you kind of you loaded up pretty quick after all the racing was done and headed out, so I didn't get a chance to
yeah,
come over and talk to you. But when I went
yeah. I
over
just
and
kind of
sorry,
go ahead. Sorry, go ahead. I keep interrupting you. I don't
it's
mean
all
to.
good. So I went over and we replayed the video like right as you wrecked, or not wrecked, but kind of stopped the
Yeah,
car.
stop.
We were
Yeah,
all very confused because even Jay and all of them were confused, but they were filming the race and they played it back, and I'm like, it didn't make any sense. And so hopefully
yeah.
Pedal Power puts up the second feature. I know they put up feature one. Hopefully they put up the second
Was it
feature so we
featured?
can
I
see
thought it was
more.
featured too. Okay. Yeah, just kind of the wheel kept going like that, and I couldn't keep going. But I kind of just I loaded up because I was like, okay, like I just want to get loaded up. I want to get home
Yep.
early and just go through the thought process. Like I sat on my bed for probably about 45 minutes or an hour thinking about, you know, I gotta I'm gonna go talk to Jay next week or two weeks because I go off next week
Yep.
and just
We're not back till August 5th.
yes. And then I'm just gonna talk to him, tell him what happened, tell him how I feel, and like I don't want him to think I'm mad at him. I don't want it was just the heat of the moment. Like I said, I apologize on my behalf. If Jay listens, I'm not sure if he does or not. I hope he does, and I hope he hears the apology.
If not, I'll tell Jay to listen to this. So
Yeah, perfect. Yeah, I appreciate that.
um but yeah, like it's unfortunate. It's
Yeah,
it was a shitty deal. It happens. We let our emotions get the best of us, and but good on you though for realizing that and taking a step back, and we got
mhm.
a couple weeks off for you to think about it, and if you talk beforehand, you talk beforehand, and then if
And that
not, well, guess what? You got August 5th to talk about it, because
yeah,
as we've said before, talking about this club, you're not loading up
we're
this
all
car and going to a different track.
no, you're not. You got one series, one club, and that's it.
If you
And
want to race with these guys, you got to go down to the States.
yeah, it's
So
either Michigan's got theirs, but you got to run the Hoosiers. You got to run a quick change. You got to
yeah,
change a lot of things over to go run with them. And then it's that trike of wherever you live, you're going all the way to Michigan to go all the way back. It's
yep,
my dad was telling when they used to run because they'd run 45 nights a year, and they were
yeah.
like, "Yeah, we used to go to Michigan," and I'm like, I would be sleeping halfway home. I would never be able to do that drive.
I I definitely talked to so I've talked to John Carlin, I've talked to a few guys who've raced in the club, and they always one of the funniest things they've told me is they did a what is it? They changed they redid a transmission in the hotel bathroom.
Yep, yep. They're crazy. So I don't remember what driver that was, but essentially they blew their transmission, went to the junkyard, they picked one up, and they had. I guess it was either rusted or something was wrong with it, and they just put it in the sink, got the oil going, started cleaning it, and you're like, you're you're in a hotel bathroom. Someone else is gonna use this. It's like why? It's like do it in the parking lot, man. But
Oh
then
man.
again, that was back in the days of you didn't have these nice enclosed trailers. You had the open trailers going down the highway, everyone looking at your car. Like as much as I love the enclosed for when it's really hot and sunny, you get the shade. I loved taking my car everywhere on an open trailer and just seeing all the smiles and people taking photos. It's just awesome because you don't get to see it much. You may see a couple pure stocks or in Cam's case you'll see the sprint car, but you don't you don't really see many people showing up on open trailers. Like you got Mike Pod and
Yeah.
Ian, they come on open trailers, but really other than that, no one comes on an open trailer anymore. And I don't want to say it's a shame because the enclosed are nice. You can store more stuff, but at the same time, if you just got racing stickers on, people are just gonna look at it being like, "Oh, it's just another trailer." But
So
it's
did you see the 26 mini stock trailer
26 mini stuff.
right
I don't
outside
think
the
so.
pit? So I walked by it last night and I looked at it. I'm like, that's a cool design, but at the same time, like I'm really sketchy
Oh,
because I know it's got the vinyl siding
I
that you
know the
can
one
roll
there,
up.
the giant big ramp truck. Yeah,
Yeah,
I saw
I
that. And I was like, you just look at that, and
they,
you're like,
I know how much weight those things should only be able to take, and I think that car's pushing it.
yeah, yeah. Because you look at it and you're like, I don't know if this is gonna be MTO legal or not, but
Well,
let's let's push the limits.
so I used to work for Miska Trailers. They do make trailers like that, but they're not necessarily made for cars
Gotcha.
because there's no axle running across the bottom like your standard trailer you have.
I
It
gotcha. I got it.
Everything for it has to be within that frame or within where the wheel is, so that way obviously it can drop down.
Yes, yes. So
So
it's meant for like an ATV or something like that kind of stuff.
ATV stuff like that, yeah, something that's not a whole lot of weight, but you can set it down and lift it back up. But
For
like
sure.
we use that, like people use it for, like, Home Depot has tons of them. Actually, we did a whole
Yeah.
order for Home Depot so that you can load and unload equipment pretty easily. But
Yeah.
I looked at it, I'm like, I love it. Don't know how I feel about the
But
design, but just because I know how much those things should only be able to tow.
and you pray that he's got a short drive and not like he's coming from Kitchener, Guelph, or
Oh,
some highway.
if he's coming from he's sponsored from Stewart's Equipment, so he may be up by the Aaron Way.
Okay.
So I haven't caught the name of where he's from. Maybe I need to go check his bio on flambrospeedway.ca here soon and see if they have his bio up there, see where he's from. But I talked to him quickly last night. But yeah, he's yeah, I love the open trailers. But I think if you give an enclosed trailer a specific look, it will turn heads.
Oh, for sure.
So like today, like to be fair, anytime I see a damn hauler, it's just I'm always curious.
Race cars in there.
I'm hoping so.
Yeah.
Like today we passed looked like a stacker trailer. And it was it had a big motor coach on it and looked like a stacker trailer on the backside, all white, beautiful, clean. And I'm like,
yeah,
I really hope there's a race car in there.
Yeah.
But it was all white. No stickers, no nothing, just
no number,
nothing.
Yeah.
So I don't know what it was.
It was so. Speaking of something like that, we went to the States on Friday, and we're just coming down to the border, and I saw this nice sprint car hauler, and my girlfriend's like, "That's a nice hauler." I'm like, "I bet you there's a sprint car in there." She's like, "How do you know?" I was like, "Well, judging by everything at Oswego on $1 Million Road, that line's right up, right next to it."
What color was it?
White.
White?
Just white. With no numbers.
Huh, I wonder if it's the same one I saw today.
It might have been. It might have been.
But yeah, no, it was I love, but like if you have an enclosed trailer and it's just a standard enclosed trailer, I feel like if you get a couple extra sponsors to help fund the wrap
Oh,
for it, you can
yeah.
really make it a head turner to help people come to the track. Because you're right, if you show up, if you're just driving around with a white or black or gray, whatever color you got enclosed trailer, and it has no
No,
decals, no nothing, you could be the gardener up the road for all we know.
yeah, that's it, right? Like, I got stickers on the back of my truck, but like, I got nothing on the trailer. So I've been trying to get Dad to do a little wrap or something on the trailer, but
At least the back
it hasn't
door.
worked yet.
At the
Yes,
bottom, put "Follow us to Flamborough Speedway."
that'd be awesome.
That's what I want to build. I want to, like, if I ever end up in this racing world and have a car, and I have a trailer that's an enclosed or even an open trailer, I'm putting up a dang sign that says, "Follow us to Flamborough," or wherever we're going. I'd have different banners if I'm traveling or whatever, but there would be
Mhm.
banners on the back that said, "Follow us to X racetrack."
Oh, for sure. Like, I've always thought about doing like our schedule on the back,
Oh,
just
that's
because
kind of
it'd
cool
be cool. Like, right? You just get all the dates. Put you down.
because we know our schedule in January. So like you have
Exactly.
enough
Just
time. Yeah.
I think that'd be kind of cool. And like on the side, I'd do like the stickers that Dad just did.
Yep.
I'd put that on the side. That'd be cool.
Oh yeah. That's what we need to see. Like when we like I talk a lot about branding because from myself, obviously I try to promote a lot of race car drivers. The one thing I want to see is more exposure. If you have an
Oh, for
open wheel,
sure.
you're already doing a hell of a lot job than a guy who has an enclosed and there's no stickers on it.
Hmm. Yeah,
You're doing
because
more exposure for yourself than the guy who's an enclosed.
yeah, because everyone sees your car. It ain't close,
Exactly.
nothing. You don't get anything. And like I'm I've always thought about ideas of like, in Oakville they have it's called Midnight Madness. I've always thought about bringing my car down there, signing autographs, or I've always thought about all these things of like, okay, how can we get short track racing in Ontario, like Flamborough Speedway, Sunset, well, I can't race, well, Delaware, but Delaware, they come with 45 pure stocks. Like we need to save these short tracks. We need to bring in more fans. Like, I understand that everyone's got to make the money and right, but like we gotta figure something out. Like maybe do like Peterborough does. Peterborough's got the tuning night, or
Yeah.
you bring a family of cars, for $45. Do something like that. Because if you do that, say a tuning night, you're gonna bring your kids, or you're gonna bring, your wife, girlfriend, boyfriend. They might enjoy it, and they're like, okay, let's keep coming. Let's come back next week,
Yep.
and then they'll bring their friends, and then those friends they'll keep coming, right? And that's what we as a club, we as all drivers, all tracks, we all gotta figure something out to do to do these things.
Oh yeah.
Like like I mentioned, look at Peterborough. They did that tuning night, and they had people lined up at the gate, ready to ready to go,
Oh yeah.
right?
But you got to be there
And
early for a night like that.
yeah, because
You
it's like
can't be late. Or they do
you
the
can't be.
free admission.
Yeah,
We went opening night for when it was fan appreciation and they did it was free entry. Jack and I still went pit side, so it wasn't free for us, but hey. Uh the like I took a picture of the crowd. I'm like, this is what I love to see.
exactly. And if we can get more tracks on, like on board with that, we'd have the pack crowds like back in the day.
Oh yeah.
Like I know a lot of people aren't going out now because everything's so expensive. But like
Yep.
if we could do like a free night or a tuning night, that that would put a big picture in racing. Because
Oh yeah.
if we did a tuning night, and I know a lot of drivers, some like it, some may not, but like when you're going out on track and you just look to the right and you see all these fans, you looking at that being like, there's a kid out there wishing and dreaming he or she could be racing.
That was
And
me.
that's it, right?
That's
Like
all of us at one point.
it is. I grew up on going to Kawartha Speedway uh, with my father and my grandfather. My dad would pick me up from school at 12 o'clock every Friday, and all the principal always said, "Where are you going?" And I always say, "I'm going to the races." And we get up there, and you just like it's just an atmosphere.
Oh yeah.
Like I miss Kawartha. I was thankful I got to race once there, and then it was just such a big track, and you're like, why can we not have this track again? But
I know.
it's just it's a real shame because like that track has so much potential. Like, yeah, I get it. It's a far drive, but like it was just one of the best tracks I've ever driven on. And I love every track in Ontario. I love it all.
You know what? And I've never got a chance to watch a race at Kawartha, which is unfortunate. But I thankfully to some guys on YouTube, they've been able to provide us with an opportunity to watch the races, such as like the CASCAR races or the NASCAR Pinty Series races from there. And at least that way, one, it lives on in
Yeah.
eternity because we're gonna be able to watch it continuously. But two, it get like hell, I never knew CASCAR raced Peterborough. But guess what? There's a video on YouTube that proves it.
Yeah. There's a video. CASCAR race everywhere.
Oh yeah.
They run everywhere. I can't remember where I was, but I ran into someone and they started talking about CASCAR and I was like, yeah. I was like, I know CASCAR, and they're like, oh, they used to race everywhere. Like they were I can't remember where it was. I think it was somewhere in the States, but I can't remember where. And they were like, yeah, I remember the CASCAR days. And it's like it's
You're
just
my kind of folk.
you think about that and you're like, you should do you know the vintage mods? Like, do you know like all these names? And you start talking, you say all these names. You're like, I know most of those people. And it's just it's cool that our racing in Ontario is getting down like down south, which unfortunately, Ducasso like that was a great track, and I missed it. I was one of the first two people to drive on that track with a
Yep.
car modified out there, and that that track brought the attention to a lot of American people, and it's a shame that's not out, but like it's someone's got to save it.
I'm hoping that, we're able to, or someone's able to come in, either purchase it and reopen it or what. Like, I finally got a chance to stop by here just a couple months ago here. And, I such a beautiful looking facility. They
Oh,
put a lot of work in. And you know what? The fact that you were one of the first couple guys to really try it out. I remember when those pictures and videos came out of that, and I was like, how like that is like to me like that was just a badass moment.
oh yeah, there was the second layer of concrete that got poured down. There was no infield wall. There was no, there was. I was like, if I'm gonna loop this, I'm gonna be going into either a dirt pile or the pond. But I didn't loop it, so I was happy with that.
Absolutely. I completely forgot, and thankfully you brought it up because the fact that you were able to get to drive that is just that's not something many people can get to say, is that you got to drive on the repave before it was even a racetrack again.
And it's in one of the cars, like the asphalt modifieds. those are some. I don't want to say some things you never see up here because you do with the Oscar, but you don't get the big
It's
15-inch tires. You don't get the 350 gauge. You don't get all that, and it's
you get the reason with those cars. You understand why they're called ground pounders or
yeah,
ground
those
shakers or whatever you want to go by. But
those are the ground pounders. I remember my first ever race. We were at Land. Was it? Yeah, it was Lancaster Speedway. And my dad's like, these are the ground pounders. Like you're gonna feel it. And I remember sitting in those stands, and they took the green. They did their shift, and they were gone. And I was like, my eyes lit up, and I was like, I'm in love with these cars. Where do I sign up?
right,
It's every year when I go to Florida, I always go to at least 2 to 3 days to watch the modifieds, and the rest of them at the big track.
yeah,
There's one race I haven't been able to cross off the bucket list yet, but I want to go because it's either I go to New Smyrna or I go to the big track for the trucks, and it's the Richie Evans Memorial Race. Because Richie Evans him and Jerry Cook. They used to play cat and mouse. I don't know if you ever heard of those.
oh yeah,
They'd run for points, but they lived in town over. So Jerry would send one car to another track, and then Richie would follow him. So then Jerry went to the one paying more points, and then Richie would do the same. And it was cool because I got a tour of Roush, I think it was Roush, and that's where Jerry worked. And I chatted him up for like at least an hour. The lady that gave us the tour, she was in shock. She was like, how do you know this much? And I was like, because they're just the two modifiers you think of. Like you got Doug Kobe, you got Ted Christopher, you got Mike Stefanik, you got
yep,
all these drivers that they never got the opportunity to go to NASCAR because they love the mod so much, and they've made the name for themselves. And it's just so awesome to just watch them because you watch them and they race with respect. They don't beat, well, they'll beat and bang, but they won't intentionally put someone on the wall. They won't, whereas a pro eight, you're going in and you're a fender a night or you're a rear clip a night, and it's sad to see stuff like that, right? Because you look at the two classes, and you're like, they're both equally amazing, and then you just get the guys that go out wreck each other, and then you get the guys that race with respect, and that's how you can tell who actually will race clean and who will race you better is people that don't wreck each other.
you're absolutely right. Um, I want to keep. I saw that I want to stay here, but I want to kind of keep moving a little bit because you're. I'm gonna get you to come back because I feel like there's a lot more we're gonna need to talk about.
I'm all for this. I'm all for this.
I know it's been a lot of fun having you tonight. Before we let you go, of course, you saw earlier today, we put out that you were joining us tonight on the program, and we have a few fan questions for you to answer. You ready to answer them?
I know what Alex is, and yeah, I would love to race a bone stock or mini stock or pro weight, but like we'll stick to the bone stocks for now.
So the first question up here, Alex Stewart's, how many cheeseburgers would it take to buy your CVM?
I think I did the math. I think
You did do the math. I was shocked.
I think it was like 12 or 1,300 cheeseburgers. I had to price it out. I was like, my girlfriend got me a cheeseburger last night. I was like, how much was it? She's like, I don't remember. I was like, okay, I'm just gonna say the $10 and call it a day. And I was like, I had to do this math, or it would have bothered me the whole time.
And of course, if you got a chance to, you would drive a bone stock. Cam Thompson, why won't you let me drive the CVM? Scared I'll go faster.
Oh, it's just I don't want you to go out and potentially wreck and get hurt, because then I would feel so bad that knowing that you got in my car and either, yeah, you probably wouldn't wreck, but like there's a chance that if you went in the car and you wrecked, I would feel terrible. I would feel guilty. I probably wouldn't even. I'd be like, I'm done. I'm more worried about my safety and everyone else's safety, that I would never want to see anyone get in a car and go out and wreck and get injured. Because look at Kevin Swindell, for instance, when he ran Knoxville, he got in that bad wreck. Then I don't think it was his car. It was a 71 Indy Raceway parts, and he hit the wall and he did the flip, and he just landed. I he landed awkwardly, and now he unfortunately can't walk, which is it's sad, because he had such a great career, and it would have been amazing to see how much further he would have gone. But I don't know. It's stuff like that that just kind of scares me in a case. Like I'd love to see more people get into racing, but like I'd be so scared for someone to hop into CVM and potentially wreck.
Absolutely. Brady Cox goes, how many burgers to get an autograph?
I said one because he's my favorite.
And then we got one from Instagram here, William_Trillium. What has been the biggest moment of your career?
Oh, biggest moment in my career. That's a interesting one. Biggest moment would probably be when I won my grandfather's memorial night with the CVM, and then running a Schwiegen last year for Wade. That was a pretty special moment to get the call from Wade saying, "I want you to race." It's pretty special.
I got another fan question, but it's not on my list and it was not submitted. This was from myself personally.
Yes.
Where did the nickname Cheeseburger come from?
So I guess the story comes out. So I was crewing for Wade one day, and it was during COVID, so like we had to be there like 8 a.m. and we had to
Yeah.
pretty much stay till 10 or 11. And I didn't eat that day because I woke up late, so I had to get to the track, and I had a cheeseburger for lunch, and I had like two or three throughout the day, and every time he'd look at me, he'd be like, "You have a cheeseburger in your hand?" And I was like, "Oh, I'm hungry." And he's like, "I'm gonna start calling you Cheeseburger Phil." And I was like, Let's keep going with this nickname. I'll gladly take it." And then that's how it started, was Wade saying Cheeseburger Phil. Now that's it. I got the nickname Cheeseburger.
I was gonna say, because even on your dirt mini stock you have that
I got the Hawaiian cheeseburger. I got Cheeseburger Phil, and it was just a little cheeseburger, and he's pretty much got like the wind next to him, so we call it the Flying Cheeseburger.
Oh boy.
Yeah, it's definitely an interesting nickname, but it's awesome.
Oh man. Well, that wraps up our fan question period. Of course, we want to thank Taylor to You Media and Design for sponsoring that segment of the show. And of course, we've got to thank Jeremy for answering those questions for us this week.
Thank you for having me on the show. I appreciate it.
No problem. Like I said, we're gonna get you back on at a later date because
Absolutely.
one, we still need to do a Thorn Racing one, which I know you're a part of that.
Yeah.
We were supposed to do that.
I think that was back in March, I think, and we just kind of were like busy getting Ashton's car ready, busy getting like the 3 cars ready to go, and then we're like, we were supposed to do this tonight.
I didn't hear from anyone, and I was like, I need to find a guest for tonight.
Yeah, I think that was the weekend. Oh no, it was practice weekend at a Schwiegen. Both cars blew up. It was Friday night. We changed we pulled my engine. We pulled, I think it was Wade's engine out. It was 1:30 in the morning, and I'm like, you text me. He's like, "You good for Sunday?" And I was like, "I'm going to sleep. I can't answer this right now." I was like, "I need some sleep."
Hey,
We
it
will
honestly it happens, man.
we will definitely do this.
Oh yeah, I'm thinking
I
maybe we'll
think
wait till the off season though, so that way we can group everyone and no one's stressed about race cars.
you know what the next podcast should be? I think we need one with me, Brady, Cam, and Alex. I think we need that. So they
Have
can
your own
explain
show.
so that they can explain why they're banned from a kart track in Hamilton.
I've heard
I think
I've heard stories, and I think it'd be a great story for them to kind of all of them together.
let's let's just say Brady was like on his side and his shoe passed him, and then
That's
the rest they can tell.
oh boy. Uh
Yeah,
Before we let you go though, we are going to give you the
yeah.
next few minutes here to thank everyone from a dog you had when you're 2 to your latest cat that I saw come up on the screen a little while ago.
Oh, Moon. Yeah, she was starting to bite the cord, so I had to
Oh
pick her up.
geez.
I
But
don't know
yeah,
where she is.
you
She
got the
ran
next few
away.
minutes to thank everyone and everyone you want, your sponsors, your family, everyone, man.
Well, first off, I gotta thank my mom and dad for supporting me from the start. I know we tend to struggle a little bit, and like we're getting better, but like without their support, I wouldn't be racing. And then, well, my two grandparents, unfortunately, they aren't with us anymore. They're the reason that I am racing the CVM. Without them, I wouldn't be racing. And then my brother, my girlfriend, and all like well Alex, Cam, and Brady for telling me to come out and race more. And then I gotta say thanks, Lisa, for doing all your hard work at the track. Because I know she'd get mad if I didn't say thank you. I gotta thank Speedy Auto Service Burlington, B Square Decals, Joey's by Jim Bray, Oakville Trailers, Racing Stuff by Ron Easton. I don't. That's really all I gotta thank right now. Don't. I need more sponsors, but I don't know how to. I'm not really a talkative guy when it comes to sponsorships. And then also my new crew guy Ryan. He's a good guy. He doesn't know much, but he's a good guy.
Well, if you need any help finding some sponsors, let me know. I'll help you out any way I can. And
Be
if you need some help with a proposal or something, or even a video you can send out to them, let's talk afterwards.
yeah.
So
Let's get a chat that going because that would be appreciated.
absolutely. So just stay on after we hang up here, kind of deal, and we'll talk a
Sounds
little bit
good.
more. Okay. Um,
All right.
so that's gonna wrap up our conversation with Jeremy Barton this week. Jeremy, where can we catch you next time on track?
Flamborough Speedway, August 5th, I believe, or 6th. One of the
Fifth.
two. August 5th. That's where I'll be. But I'll probably be at Ashwegan on Friday and maybe Flamborough Saturday. I got to see what the plans are.
All
But
right.
they'll always see me at a track.
Is there anywhere they can find you on social media so that way they can keep up with your racing ventures?
Just my Facebook page. We have Barton Motorsports. If you follow me along on Instagram, it's Bart's35. I post some racing stuff on there. And that's really about all I post on is Instagram and Facebook for racing. But if you're more than welcome to give me a follow, you're more than welcome to tag along with this adventure and see where this ends up.
Perfect. Well, Jeremy, we want to thank you for joining us this week on the True North Racing Podcast, and you have yourself a good night. All right.
Thank you as well.
And we're back from our conversation that we just finished up with Jeremy Barton. We thank Jeremy for joining us this week on the podcast, and make sure you guys go out there and check him out. You guys can find him, like you said, on Bart's 35 and Jeremy Barton on Facebook and Instagram. Yeah, we had a nice little talk even afterwards. It was great chatting with him some more, and hopefully we got some things worked out and we can help him land some more sponsorship and really help him take off his racing career. I his again, this feels so weird just doing it by myself this week. So there's not too much else I need to say or add tonight. But yeah, make sure you guys stay tuned to the True North Racing podcast through Joe Media and Promotion social media channels. You guys can find us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, as well as at jomomedia.ca. While you're there, you guys can also check out all our drivers. Check out our merch store. We got apparel still, guys. So if you're looking for something to help support Joe Media Promotions and the True North Racing podcast, you guys can find it there. Reach out to us. Yeah, find our list of drivers. You guys can see everyone from BT Racing all the way. I think our last driver we got is Victoria McLennan down at number 89. So we got a bunch of drivers there. Go take a look. Find out where they're racing. A lot of their schedules are updated. I've been really bad the last few weeks here of trying to get stuff put up on their personal up on the pages I've created for them. But hopefully that gets cleared up here in the next little bit. But yeah, you guys can make sure you guys stay tuned. We got a great show next week. I'm excited to have them. We'll be joined by the Southern Ontario Dirt Show. Yeah, that's good. We're gonna have another podcast crossover here. We're gonna learn more about Jonathan Howe and Travis Cunningham. I can't wait for it. I know Megan's itching to get back to this, so we can have a great conversation with them next week. But until then, like I said, make sure you guys follow us on all social media platforms. We got a lot of cool things happening this week, so stay tuned. But thank you guys for checking us out, for listening. Make sure you guys like, comment, share, subscribe. You guys, yeah, if you guys like us, make sure you guys share it, please. It's one little click down at the bottom there. Share it, put it up on Facebook, Instagram, whatever. Help us out, help us grow the show. We love what we're doing, and we hope you guys like what you guys are hearing, as well as make sure if you guys would like to if you're a racer car driver and you guys are watching this and you would like to be a guest on the show, please feel free to reach out to us. You guys can comment, message us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. You can also message us through joemedia.ca through our contact page at the bottom of the homepage. And that's how Carter Nickel got on the show last week, is because they reached out to us through the website. So that's awesome. But yeah, make sure you guys stay tuned as always, and we'll see you guys next week. Bye now.
True North Racing, let's go.